will be recorded. If you do not wish to appear on the recording, either on voice or video, please make sure that your audio and video are disabled. Interactions via chat will not appear on the recording. We're here to encourage creativity and playfulness with makeup and in a safe space. Our program today is made possible by a partnership with the San Antonio Center, the Center within San Antonio. And before we begin, Lex would like to share some information with you all about the center.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Monica. You can go ahead and move to the next slide, Marisa. Hi, my name is Lex Loro. I use the pronouns she and they interchangeably. So for me, that means that I like when folks use both. I am one of the community empowerment coordinators at the Pride Center and really thrilled to be here as a co-sponsor for this event. Thank you to the San Antonio Public Library for having us. I just wanted to quickly let you all know that we have some other programs and resources available to you at the Pride Center. And just to let everybody know that these things are available. This is just a quick rundown. We have virtual programs. We offer case management, connections to counseling, including group therapy. We also have peer-to-peer support groups and a lot of opportunities right now to connect virtually, like in Zoom meetings like this one or via Discord. And we also offer wellness programming. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please reach out to us. We have a link here for our link tree is what it's called. And then here is our email address, info@pridecentersa.org. One of our co-hosts is going to drop a link in the chat as well. So that link is coming to you in the chat. If you click on that link in the chat and you provide your information, you will also be added to our email list so that you can stay in touch with us and get updates about the Pride Center. So if you want more information or think that any of those events or programs may be a good fit for you, please reach out. We would love to hear from you. Thanks.
Okay, so once again, welcome to the Express Yourself Gender Diverse Makeup Tutorial all about skin. Your makeup artists for today will be Roberto Chibi Orduña and Elizabeth Liz Gates. I am your moderator, Monica Huerta, librarian at San Antonio Public Library, and your other moderator is Marissa DeVoe.
And I guess we just take it away. Hi, everybody. Super excited for y'all to be here with us. I'm Chibi. Liz is directly below me on my screen. I don't know where she's at on your screen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liz Gates, and I am in San Antonio as well. So go ahead, Chibi, tell us what got you into makeup.
Yeah, before we jump into today's session, which is going to be all about skin, we just wanted to share a brief history of our journey as makeup artists and as in makeup, because you may not know us from anyone else. So my brief history, my background's in theater. I been doing theater my entire life, and then in college dove into theatrical makeup as well. Right out of college, I got a job working at MAC Cosmetics, which was the products that I used in theater anyway, and I loved the brand. I was there for 9 years, working as a manager and as a trainer, all the way up to a regional trainer, up until a couple of years ago. So that's where the majority of my training has come from the world of MAC Cosmetics. That's very much heavily influenced by personalizing makeup, training people on how to use makeup, theatrical, avant-garde, but also the everyday. And now I do art in various forms, as well as makeup as freelance full-time. So I'm excited to share. I love all things skin. Skin is so important. So I'm really excited to dive into today and share with y'all. And like they said in the beginning too, please use the chat. We're looking at the chat. So use it if you've got questions, if you need clarification on something, like let us know and we will dive into it. Liz, Tell us about your journey in makeup.
Awesome. Thank you, Chibi. So I'm Liz, and I didn't wear makeup for years. I didn't know anything about makeup, didn't know how to apply it, was scared. So I don't know if y'all are some of those people that are on here that maybe you're interested, but you're a little scared. Go ahead and send us like some emojis in the chat because we're going to talk about all things skin. So basically, how I got into makeup and skin was a friend of mine had asked me to come to a party. And at this party, she showed me how to put stuff on my face. And then I was like, oh. And then she was teaching me. And I was like, well, I can teach people if all she's doing is reading from a book. So, anyways, I joined Mary Kay. And I've been in Mary Kay for 5 years, and I teach people how to take care of their skin. And not only that, but also how to get the look that they want with makeup. And so makeup is fun. I just saw somebody text and they said makeup is scary. Um, that was me. I was like, I don't know how to do that stuff. I thought it was pretty, but I was like, not for me. Well, we're going to teach you guys some techniques and tools on how to really just dive in. And I love the comments, y'all. Keep them coming. Yes, there are a lot of products out there, but that's what this session is about today. We're going to talk about just some of the basics of skin, what to look for based on your skin type. Chibi and we both have different skin types. So y'all are going to hear some of the products that he uses versus what I use, because my skin is totally different than Chibi's. And so, definitely take notes. Y'all keep the chat going. We're going to be watching the chat. We'll answer questions throughout. And then at the end, we will have a final Q&A if we missed anything throughout. So Chibi's going to get us started. He's going to talk about who the session is for, and then go into like skin type and identifying your type. Take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So like she said, this session is for everybody, no matter where you are in terms of your level of comfort with makeup. You have a valid space here. You know, I worked in the cosmetics industry for 10 years and I came across every level of like, I have my own YouTube channel to why am I 50 years old and only just now getting into makeup? It's fine. It is absolutely fine. And today is all about skin. And so we are going to take you through a couple of different variations because everything can be personalized to you and your level of comfort, right? And so I think we're both going to start with a very much like a hashtag I woke up like this. Can you even tell I'm wearing makeup? I put this together with like 2 products and feel amazing kind of skin look. And then we're going to build on top of that to create a more intricate, more full coverage kind of look so that you can see the levels of it and know that at any point in any level, you could just be like, I'm good here. I don't need that next step. And that's fine. So before we dive into actual color product, it's so important to talk about skin care. And in order for us to talk about skin care, we have to identify skin types because everyone has a different skin type. And like somebody said, I think it was Eddie in the comments said, there are so many products out there. And a way to kind of narrow that field is first to identify your skin type because each product is tailored to a specific skin type. So when it comes to skincare, the purpose of skincare is to get your skin to a balanced level. And that is a good balance between hydration and a healthy glow, ding, but not overly glowy everywhere to where your skin is producing an excess of oil, which in the technical term is called sebum. So there are basically 3 main skin types that we focus on when we talk about skincare. And on one side, you've got dry and dehydrated. On the other side, you have oily. And in the middle, you have balanced. So when trying to self-assess, let's start with oily. Because in San Antonio, everyone and their mother thinks they have oily skin, and that's not true. There's a difference between being oily and being sweaty. So oily skin is typically, you take a shower, you wash your face, maybe you put on products, maybe you don't. Either way, within an hour, you got shine happening. And whether that's shine in the T-zone, which is right here, the T-zone, or shine everywhere, it's happening quick, okay? On the other side, you have dry and dehydrated. Dry skin is typically has no shine whatsoever. And sometimes there's a lot of tightness in your skin. You can feel it to where like you move your face and it's like, ow, why does this feel like I'm stretching? Dehydrated skin typically is a little flaky. Maybe you drank too much last night. I don't know. But there can be some flakiness happening on your skin, right? Balanced skin, you're gonna get some shine, but it usually doesn't happen until a few hours into the day or at the end of the day. If you have some shine going, that's good, because that means your skin is naturally hydrating itself. And so it keeps it hydrated, it keeps it smooth, it keeps it moist. You've got a little glow happening, but it's not like excessive and all over, and it isn't immediate. So identifying your skin type is so important, because if you're using products for the wrong skin type, you're going to end up hurting yourself rather than benefiting yourself. So that's step one. Self-identify your skin type. After that, then you go into which products work best for me. I am more on the oily side with dehydrated tendencies. Thank you, tequila. Liz is more on the drier side, so we're going to be able to talk about products for both. Liz just kind of went through her kind of like cleansing her skin. I'm wearing a little makeup. And this is the hashtag I woke up like this. Can you even tell that I'm wearing makeup? So I'm going to take this off using some makeup wipes. When looking at makeup wipes, you want to get anything that has micellar water in it. And I'll drop that in the chat, because micellar water is so good at breaking down makeup while still being soft and gentle on your skin. So just so you can see what my skin actually looks like without makeup. I have
wow.
There's a lot of redness happening in my skin.
Wow. I would have never guessed that, Chibi. Look at you.
So, Liz, talk about what you've been doing while I get rid of all of this and start fresh.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So I started with the cleanser. So like Chibi said, I have more drier skin. I actually have eczema. And so I have a skin condition where my skin is just going to be dry regardless. But I'm able to use products so that you cannot tell that I have really dry, dehydrated skin. And some of y'all are probably looking at me and like, wait a minute, this person has dry skin where? Trust me, I do. I feel it. So another thing, when we talk about the basics of skincare, you want to find a cleanser that's suited for your skin type. So when you have a little bit more of oily skin or a combination, look for a cleanser that's more gel-based, because the gel-based cleanser will actually scrub that extra oil off of your skin while you're washing your face. So I use more of a cream base, and let me show you, because my skin is dry. Oh wait, I'm not in the camera. Because my skin is drier. See, my cleanser is more of a cream base because it gives me a little bit extra moisture while I'm cleansing my skin. Thank you, Anthony, for mentioning sensitive skin. So I have sensitive skin as well. Yeah, and you can see Chibi's face is red. So I'm pretty certain Chibi has sensitive skin. Something else you want to look for in your cleanser is make sure it's fragrance free. I'm saying this word wrong. Comedogenic. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. And make sure it's been tested by a dermatologist. So a dermatologist is a skin doctor. That's what they specialize in. And there are some cleansers out there that have not been tested by a dermatologist. You want to try to stay away from those because especially if you have sensitive skin, it may irritate the face and the skin. Okay. Um, Thank you, Chibi, for putting the micellar water in there. Yes, that stuff is amazing. And then the other thing I want to say too, when you're washing your face is make sure what you're using, a cloth or towel, is gentle. Don't get the roughest towel you have in your house when you are trying to wash your face. Remember, our skin is the largest organ on our body, and it's the first thing people see. And so you want to do everything you can to like take care of it as best as possible, still within whatever confounds that you're looking for. And so the other thing with skincare too is skincare is like foundation. I always say your makeup game will never be a 10 if your skincare game is a 2. Think about building a house. You don't want to build a house on sand, right? Because you don't want it to slide off in the ocean when the wind blows, right? You want a stable foundation. It works the same way with your skin. Your skincare routine will bring out your makeup game to that level of whatever you're wanting that level to be. And we are aware everybody may not want to be a full out, 10. But if you are looking for your makeup game to be a 10, make sure your skincare game is a 10 as well, because they go hand in hand. You can't it's like putting poop on top of a cake. You can't put a bunch of makeup on top of uncleansed or, not good, not good taking care of skin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Chibi, oh shoot, I'm sorry. I somehow lost the screen. Oh, there we go. He is putting some stuff on. I'm actually gonna put on this is a day cream. It has SPF 30 in there. Now, if you're allergic to SPF, you can find a moisturizer that does not have the sunscreen in there. I use it with the sunscreen because, the sun is very damaging to the skin. And since I do not have an allergy to sunscreen, I look for a moisturizer with the sunscreen. So when you're out shopping for your moisturizers, look for one with the sunscreen because it's going to protect your skin all day when you're out in the rays, whether you put makeup on or so. Okay, take it away, Chibi. What are you putting on your face?
Liz, you bring up some really great points. In terms of taking care of your skin, I like to say it's your best accessory, and you can't get a new one next season. So you got to take care of it, right? And the importance of skin care in order to build the house on top of it. I'm like looking at myself in 17 different mirrors. So let me go through the products that I have put on my skin so far, because here's something that I like to share with people in terms of skincare and creating your skin look. You want to go through your skincare routine and you want to give the products a minute to really soak in. Okay, if you layer them too quickly and then you put your makeup on top of it, like it's hasn't had a chance to really absorb into your skin, and it's just going to mix with your foundation, and it's going to create a really slip and slide moment on your face. So I always like to keep a little fan, or do your skincare, brush your teeth, comb your hair, go get dressed, and then come back and do your foundation, right? So let me walk you through what I've done so far. We talked about cleansing the skin. Please, 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 please use a cleanser, okay? For your face. A lot of people use body soap on their face. Yeah, is all I have to say about that. Okay, please invest in a good cleanser for your skin. Your skin on your face is very different from the skin on the rest of your body and requires a little bit more of a delicate touch. I like to use one that's got some vitamin C in it. Vitamin C is a great, unless you're allergic to or sensitive to, is a really great ingredient that you want to look for in skin products. And then I went in with a little bit of a toner and a moisturize, a toner and an exfoliant. My toners and exfoliants are from a brand called Paula's Choice. They're very economic in terms of pricing for cosmetics. Most products run between the $15 to $30 range, and they last me like 6 to 9 months. So it's a good investment. I have my big skin issues are redness, large pores, and oiliness. So my toner is for pore reducing, which has done wonders over the past few years. And then my exfoliant is one that has a BHA liquid. BHA is a liquid that contains some salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is one of those ingredients that if you are acne prone or oily prone, you're going to love. You're going to want to find ingredients that have salicylic acid in it. The other thing I want to talk about before I jump into a couple of other things is like a scrub, an exfoliant that you use maybe once a week. I use one that is a volcanic ash exfoliator, and the reason that I love this one is because the scrubby part, the part that feels like it's scratching your skin, is a sugar derivative, so it dissolves as you mix it with water, versus something like an apricot scrub where you can run the risk of over scrubbing your skin because that apricot graininess is not going anywhere until you decide to take it off. So especially if you're on the drier side or more sensitive side, you want to look for a more gentle scrub, but it's still good to get all the dead skin off. That's what an exfoliant and a scrub will do. And then before I jump into the skin care products that I've used, a quick distinction to note is the distinction between humectants and emollients. So a humectant, the way I remember it, humectant is a magnet. It's a moisture magnet. These are products that draw water into the skin and keep it there. A really great ingredient to look for in those kinds of products is a hyaluronic acid. That is a moisture magnet that's just going to draw moisture into your skin and keep it there so it is plump, it is supple, it is gorge. An emollient, think of an emollient like butter. It is going to sit on top of the skin and give you that hydrated feel, but it's not going to absorb very quickly into your skin. So usually creams have a lot of emollients versus gels or water-based moisturizers have more humectants. So if you're on the drier side, emollients are great because your skin needs that extra help. If you're on the oilier side, emollients might be too much. You got enough of that shine happening. So after I did my toner and my exfoliant, I went in with a hydrating mist. This is just a drink of water for your skin. I used MAC Fix Plus. It's kind of a staple in the cosmetic industry. But it just quickly gives you hydration. It has glycerin, chamomile, green tea, and caffeine. All those are great for hydrating and for soothing. Because like Liz said, I have sensitive skin. I have a lot of redness. So chamomile, green tea, caffeine, I want that in my skincare. And then I used an eye cream. I don't care what kind of eye cream you use, but use a cream for your eyes. This, talking about skin being different, this area of your skin is so much thinner and so much sensitive than this area of your skin, than this area of your skin. So an eye cream, and then I do use a bit of a thicker moisturizer because this moisturizer is heavy in ingredients that help with sensitivity and redness. It was specifically designed for people with rosacea. So because I have a lot of redness, I do use this even though it's a cream and is a lot for my oily skin. So proportionizing too is a thing. A tiny, tiny bit of amount is really, really good. So that's where I'm at with my skincare, and I'm letting it breathe. I'm grabbing that fan. Somebody said yes, fan.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for going over those products for more of the oily combination skin types. And I also, my moisturizer is more thick. It's creamy because I have the drier, more dehydrated skin. So a couple of things also to kind of go along with what Chibi said, exfoliant. So I love the deep charcoal mask, the cleansing charcoal mask. It is a triple action charcoal mask that cleans the pores 3 layers deep. And all the products I'm using today are Mary Kay products. And this particular charcoal mask, what's great about it, especially if you have sensitive skin, because I know there was a couple people that mentioned sensitive skin. So what charcoal does is it acts like a magnet, and it actually pulls the gunk out of your pores. So I recommend everyone at least using a charcoal mask once or twice a week. You use a charcoal mask after you cleanse your face with the cleanser, not soap. Thank you. Oh yeah, he's like, yes. So you cleanse your face with your cleanser first, and then you use your charcoal mask or an exfoliant. There's a lot of different products out there. We're just gonna give y'all like the basics to get you started. Something else I recommend too. I actually do a lot of skin consultation. So you guys will have our information. So if you have questions or you want me to put together a regimen for you or give you some more products to use for your specific skin, that's fine. Just reach out to me and I can send you some more information. Because I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there, but we want to at least make this more like a broad spectrum for everybody. Okay. The other thing about charcoal that is great, or charcoal mask, is this particular one has it has navy bean, which evens the skin tone. It has spearmint, eucalyptus, and rosemary extracts, which kind of gives that skin that fresh, clean feel. And so it's great for sensitive skin, dry skin, combination of oily skin. It's great for teens, all the way up to 100 plus. So what's good about that? And it's gentle. So if you're new into skincare and you're wanting a good exfoliant, I recommend just starting off with a charcoal mask, regardless of what your skin type is, just to get your skin used to being exfoliated before you try some of the harsher things like a microdermabrasion or like a peel or like a deep scrub, because those are great as well. But if you're someone that has not really been on a great skincare regimen, or you've been using soap and water or Jergens, because I know there's people who tell me that they're like, I just use Jergens from Walmart. You've got to get your skin kind of used to some of those other things before you dive all in.
Yeah.
The other thing before, because I let my skin I'm letting my stuff sit, I use an eye cream as well. And I'm not gonna have y'all try to guess my age, because Chibi was like, I'm not gonna try to guess your age.
We don't play that game.
Yeah, but I can promise you, whatever age you guess, I am older than whatever you're gonna think that I am. But the moisture, like he mentioned about the eye area being delicate, I always apply my eye cream with my ring finger, because it is the lightest finger on your body. First of all, it has the least amount of muscle control, and you want to pat. So anytime you're dealing with the eye area, you want to make sure you're like doing a stipple. It's a pat and stipple is what they call it. Be very, very gentle. And get an eye cream that is going to give you 24-hour moisturization. So this one I use as a 3D eye cream. It defends, it delays, and delivers for younger looking skin. And the reason it gives me 24-hour moisturization is I use it in the morning and at night. And it gives me 12 hours. So I get the full day. Because, you know, I don't know about any of y'all, but most people do not want wrinkles. We call wrinkles cuss words in my world. And the best way to avoid having wrinkles is moisture. Think of like a grape. If you put a grape outside, what is it gonna do? It's gonna turn into a raisin. Your skin is the same exact way. You put it out in the sun and don't properly protect it, it's gonna start wrinkling on you. So definitely do that. Now I know Chibi already started on his makeup. Oh,
A little something. I want to address some of the questions that were in the comments section.
okay.
We had somebody asking about sugar scrubs. Like I said, the exfoliant that I use, the scrub is a sugar derivative. So sugar is actually a really good ingredient to use to kind of like help scrub gently. In terms of homemade stuff, I can't really comment on that because everyone is going to be different, right? I don't know what's in these homemade concoctions. So that's something that you kind of have to, right? You have rolling dice. Do you trust the person? I don't know. You know, that's on y'all. We had a question about eye cream. What kind of products can you use for eliminating dark circles under your eyes? So a lot of eye creams are designed specifically to address dark circles. The one that I use is the MAC Lightful C Coral Grass Vibrancy Eye Cream. MAC has a really bad job naming their products. There's always way more words than need to be in it. But basically what it does is it lightens, tightens, and brightens. So it addresses dark circles, whether they come from not sleeping enough or hereditary, because a lot of us do have hereditary dark circles. It will address those issues to basically, we have tiny little capillaries under our eyes. And when those capillaries start to kind of like burst or they're not getting what they need, that's what causes the discoloration. So this will help strengthen that, as well as it has caffeine, which just immediately tightens all the area around your eyes. So even if you had too much sushi last night, you're not going to look puffy. It's fine. And then what was the other one? What's the difference between an eye cream and an eye serum? Can you use both? You can use both. Serums typically are more concentrated versions of something. So if you're more on the sensitive side, serums are something you may want to be careful with, because what you're getting in an eye cream, you're getting the concentrated version in a serum.
Right.
And what I have done now before I move on is I put on a little bit of primer because I have oily skin and big pores. I use a pore refining primer, and I don't know if you can tell, but this side is way more matte and smooth than this side right now. Sometimes I just put on this primer and I feel good. Like I don't need any makeup anymore. But the thing about primers is there's a different primer for everything, right? And primers are optional. Primers are an added benefit. Skincare isn't always. Primers are as needed. Okay, so I'm going to keep on with this primer. Liz, tell us where you're at with your skin.
Okay, awesome. Yes. And I do want to mention about the eyes again. Another great product, and you've probably seen it in the stores, or you can get it from pretty much any skincare company, is eye patches. So eye patches are really great for if you suffer from puffiness under the eye or dark circles. And we have a hydrogel eye patch. It's basically water suspended in a gel matrix, and it's a soothing and what's the word I'm trying to use? It's a cooling and soothing sensation. So just be careful with some of the eye products. If you have sensitive skin, be very careful with certain eye products, especially the serums. I have sensitive skin around my eyes, and a lot of serums I'm not able to use. Then again, I have dry skin. So a lot of times your irritation that you may be experiencing is because the skin is just really dry. So keep that in mind too when you're looking for stuff. Primers for oily skin. So thank you, Jimmy, for putting that. I use a primer as well, even though I have dry skin. My primer it's lightweight. It has SPF 15 in there as well. It's smooth, non-greasy. It acts as an invisible buffer, and it has a magnet like effect, so that way that if you do have any fine lines or creases in your skin, the primer is going to give you that flawless palette or finish that you're looking for, and that smoothness, so that way your canvas is just clear. And then also this one is oil absorbing, can't speak. Oil absorbing. Can't even say
Absorbing.
it. Thank you. I was like, I cannot even speak.
We got it.
So
we got
if you
it.
have oily, so if you have oily skin, you can use it as well. So look for primers that are going to not be heavy. You don't want to clog your skin up with makeup or primers. You want your skin to breathe. Remember, it is an organ on your body. It does need to breathe as well. It needs oxygen. It needs air. So try to find things that are not going to clog you up. So I'm going to use a CC cream first, and we're going to build from there. So the CC cream I'm using is, you probably heard of BB cream, CC cream, same difference. It's a complexion corrector, like a tinted moisturizer. A little bit goes a long way. And I have a few tools that I'm going to be using tonight. I'm going to show y'all when I do my, in a little bit, I'm going to show y'all my egg. I call my egg. That's great for getting into some of those spots. And we'll show you how to kind of do your highlighting things with that. I do have a makeup brush I'm just going to use just to put my foundation on. And a little bit goes a long way. So this is a trick that I learned. Anytime you're applying your foundation, put it on the back of your hand. It warms it up a little bit because put it on the back of your hand. It warms it up to your body temperature. So that way when you're applying it, it goes on smooth. Now, when applying foundation, use a brush. Okay, let me say this again. Use a brush. Let me tell you why. What do we do with our fingers? We touch everything, right? And guess what? We're transferring that to our skin. Now, when we are washing our face, of course, we have to use our fingers. Well, I use a brush to wash my face, but for this, I use my fingers. But when anytime possible, use a brush. Think of painting a wall in your house. Are you gonna paint it with your fingers? Nope, you're gonna paint it with a brush. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna use the CC cream on one side of my face, and then I'm gonna do a more dramatic on the other side of my face.
Yeah,
so, go ahead, Chibi.
Let me touch a little bit on the brush side, and then talk about where my face is at the moment. The type of brush you use also will make a difference. So if you noticed, I just applied foundation two ways. The first one was with a large kind of fluffy brush. We call it a stippling brush. The softer the brush, the softer the application. So when I did that, I used the same motion, which was dab, 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 buff, 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 right? You can see that this is a little softer, a little sheerer. On this side, I used a denser, firmer brush, so you can see that the coverage level is more intense. So the type of tool that you use is going to make a huge difference in terms of how it is applied. For both sides, I used the same product, which was me creating my own tinted moisturizer, essentially. I found a concealer that I love and works for me, and I found a soft, lightweight, water-based moisturizer that I love and works for me, and I just mixed the two on the back of the hand. I was like done on this search for the ultimate foundation. I'm like, I have found what works for my skin, and I like to create my own tinted moisturizer because that lets me control the level of coverage. If I want something softer, I'll use more moisturizer and less concealer. If I want a little fuller coverage, I'll use more concealer, less moisturizer, right? And then somebody asked, how to pick the right foundation.
Yes.
Lord.
I was going to answer that. Okay, so.
Yeah. While I continue with this foundation journey.
Okay, so the drugstore foundation. Okay. I haven't bought drugstore foundation in I don't even know how long, but I will tell you this. What you want to start off with is, first of all, most foundations are going to be ivory, beige, or bronze. So just look at your skin. You're either ivory, beige, or bronze. I will tell you, if you burn in the sun, and you're more on the lighter end, you're most likely ivory. If you burn and then tan, and you're in between light and like that caramel color, you're most likely beige. And then if you are, African American, like you're in the bronze, unless you're lighter on the lighter end. So if you're darker, then you're in the bronze area. That's one way. That's first. You have to figure out which one to get first, if you're going to be ivory, beige, or bronze. So that's number one. Number two, what finish are you wanting? So do you want a matte finish or a luminous finish? Or are you looking more for like a powder, like a mineral powder? So figure out what type of foundation or what type of look you want for yourself. And then when you're at the drugstore and you're shopping for a foundation, most of them have a chart where they have the colors right there. Like you can kind of see the colors. And if I were you, I would buy the one you believe is closest to your hand and then get one a little lighter. So buy two of them because you want to also do a check here for your foundation. Um, so let me
Yeah,
show y'all something.
that's what I was
This,
going to say. The best place to like do a foundation swatch is across like your jawline, so you can compare it to face and neck. And a lot of places like an Ulta kind of store will have testers so that you can test it in store. Uh, but if you can't, buy a couple, swatch, and then returns the ones that don't work.
right. Yeah. So the drugstore, yeah. So if you're Walgreens and you're shopping for your foundation, yeah, you're gonna have to get a couple of them. But get the one that first take your hand and put it near the colors that are there, and then get one that's lighter or darker, like the one next to it, the two next to it. And then you want to do that swap test because what you don't want is to have that foundation line. You want your foundation to seamlessly flow into your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a good question. Did I miss any other questions? I don't think I saw
No, I
them.
think that was good. That was good. So let me catch y'all up on where I'm at while Liz is blending in her color products. What I did with the tinted, creating my own tinted moisturizer and applying it with the softer, fluffier brush. After that, I could have set it with a translucent powder, put on a little bronzer, and walked out the door and felt fabulous. In fact, that's usually what I do if it's just like an everyday thing, or even when I'm getting on like a Zoom meeting and I want to look a little more touched up. That was the look that I started today's Zoom meeting with. A little tinted moisturizer, a little translucent powder, and some bronzer. Boom, done. Doesn't have to be complicated, and as you saw at the beginning, still looked really good and really polished and really finished. When I say translucent powder, that's powder that has a little bit of color to it. Especially for deeper skin tones, you want something that has a little color so it doesn't come across like chalky or ashy. The other option is transparent powder, and that has no color whatsoever. On deeper skin tones, even though it has no color, it can sometimes be chalky, so a little bit of color is okay. What I've done now is after I've built my foundation, I put on a little bit of concealer. And as with anything, you want to, the acronym I'm going to give you is SLAB. Start light and build. You can always add more. It is very hard to take away. Okay? So with the concealer, I just did two little dots and I used that same kind of dense brush to pat, 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 and bring it across. With concealers, you typically want to use something that's got a little bit more of a pink or peachy undertone for light to medium complexions, or something that's got more of an orangey undertone for darker complexions, because those colors will neutralize any under eye discoloration that can be happening, especially if you have like hyperpigmentation. Something orange is going to just cancel that out. I use something that's very close to my skin tone. I'm going to add a much lighter concealer to brighten the center of my face, and then I'm going to set with some powder. Liz, where are you at?
Yes, awesome. Yes. So I did CC cream on one side, and then I did I did a matte liquid foundation. It's a more full coverage. So y'all can kind of see. I hope this light so y'all can see. You probably can see how this side, and yes, it is matte, but you'll see once I set it at the end how it goes on there. And then I did my under eye concealer on this side, and I haven't done anything to this side yet. So I want y'all to see the difference between no concealer and with concealer. Something else, another trick when you're using your tools. So I have these little eggs, and these are great for getting into the eye area, especially for those of you that may be wanting to play with makeup and do like, designs or different things like that. These are great tools. So what you do with it is you want to wet it first. So if you've ever used one of these or maybe been interested in using something that's like an egg, so you're going to wet it in water, and you're gonna see how this thing is gonna blow up. Y'all saw how little it was, right? And then you want to squeeze the water out, and it's gonna get big on me. It's gonna be bigger than when it started. Not too big because these are minis. Um, and then see how it blew up just a little bit. And another trick that I do, since I have darker colors, and a lot of times I hate to ruin my tools, I use a finishing spray on the brush, and this helps keep the makeup from going into the inner pores of this brush. Because also you want to clean your brushes too. That's something else.
All
For
the
those,
time, y'all. All the
yeah,
time.
yeah. So those of you suffering maybe from mass acne, or maybe you have breakouts, it's probably because your tools are not clean. So make sure you're cleaning your brushes, and look for a good you can buy makeup brush cleaners for like $10, or I'm old school. I use soap and water. Um, it works. Dawn soap works. And then make sure you hang your brushes this way. So that way the water, as they're drying, don't leave them this way, because what'll happen is it'll get into the adhesive that's keeping the bristles into your tool, and then it'll break your brushes down faster. Those mini eggs are cute. Thank you, Lex.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use the mini egg for so I'm not gonna do a concealer on this eye. I'm just gonna do a powder, and want to show you the difference, because some people may not want to, do all that, but I just wanted to show you just how I can, what we call bake under the eye. And that's what Chibi was
That's
doing.
what Jimmy's doing right now. Well, she's applying it. So baking is a term that honestly comes from drag and from theater makeup. It's applying powder onto the face. Like, y'all, mainstream America has stolen so much from drag queens. They don't get all the credit that they deserve. Um, so applying powder to the face as a way for that powder to soak up the moisture to kind of just solidify things in place. If you're on the drier side, be lighter with your powder. Don't do a lot of baking, because then you're just going to look a little, if you don't prep correctly, you may look a little casket ready. So if you're on the oilier side, we do, like, I put a little bit of baking powder on my nose because that's the first thing to get shiny. So I need you to absorb. Let it sit for a minute, and then I'm going to go back in with a powder that has color, that is my skin tone. This is a powder foundation, so it's more full coverage. And I'm going to dust that off and even everything out.
Yeah, and I want to answer the concealer. So I'm putting in the chat about under eye corrector. There are some under eye correctors out there. They have more of a peachy undertone, and that helps cancel out the dark circles. So either an under eye corrector, and then concealers, they usually come in ivory, beige, or bronze. Same with your foundation. Figure out where you fall. Is your ivory, beige, or bronze? And then if you're looking for more of a brightening, then you would go lighter. If you're looking more to kind of like cover, then you go darker. Okay. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah,
okay,
we can't. I was just gonna say we can't really give you specifics, because also the concealer depends on like your skin type, how much coverage you're looking for. So you really want to tailor to what Liz was saying in terms of skin tone and then benefits of the concealers. The ones that I use are more oil controlling, because that's what I need. If you need more hydration, use something that's more hydrating.
Yes, awesome. So I'm using a cheek brush, and the reason I love this brush is because, as you see here, because we're gonna do a little bit of bronzing and blush. But what I love about this, and in the next session, which Chibi will talk about in a little bit, they're gonna go more into like the highlights. So you guys stay tuned. Don't miss the next session. But the reason I like this is because you can put your thumb there, and it really helps you kind of get that that bronzer or that concealer or whatever look you're looking for, especially if you're looking to highlight the cheekbone. Pretty much how you find where your blush goes, since we're moving kind of into that direction. I say, everybody does the duck lips. Right. So basically, your blush is going to go right in here where the bone is. And then you can do your highlight above and your bronzer beneath, or you can swap. Whatever look you're trying to go for, you can do that. But the blush is always in the middle. So if you're doing a highlight and a bronzer with the blush, just remember the blush goes in the middle. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see I've applied a little bit of bronzer to this side because once you've got this kind of like full coverage thing happening, you look weird because you're all one color. And our skin naturally has multiple colors happening, right? We've got shadows and lights and flushes. So you need to add something to balance it. So adding a little bit of bronzer. For me, I add bronzer. Think of where the sun would naturally hit your face. So across the forehead, across the cheek. I put a little bit in my eye, a little bit down my nose, just to kind of like balance all of that. We're not going to dive too much into what you can do with, bronzer, contour, highlight, and all of that because the next session is going to really give you the deep dive on it. But it is necessary in terms of all things skin. Creating a completed skin look is to use a little bit of color to balance that out. And to answer the question, Roxanne asked, is foundation necessary? Absolutely not. In fact, none of this is necessary. Uh, you guys saw earlier how like just with foundation and primer, I already felt really confident about where my skin was. And it looked smooth, it looked good, it looked balanced. I was ready to go. Sometimes just a little bit of powder is all you need, or like Liz used her CC cream. I created my own tinted moisturizer. I didn't even touch foundation today. Um, so, no, it is not necessary. It's all about what you feel like you need to create the look that's going to make you feel like your best self.
Yes. And I will say this, foundation, really the purpose of foundation is just to protect the skin from the sun and the elements. Because
Free
remember,
radicals.
yeah, the free radicals, yeah. So think about your car. When you're driving down the road, right? You can even take your car through the car wash, and by the next day, your windows are all got that like dust on there. Well, guess what? That same dust that's falling on your car is falling on your skin. That's why it's very important that you're washing your face in the morning and at night, and that you protect the skin from those free radicals. So no, foundation is not necessary, but if you want to wear foundation, definitely um, put it on. It's a great protective for the skin. And then make sure if you do wear foundation, you wash it off at night. Because if you do not wash your face at night, and just want to tell you, you are aging your skin by 7 days every night. You do not wash your face. And that is the number one cause for people with breakouts is not washing their face.
Mm-hmm.
Please, please, please wash your face. Okay, let me see. Let me grab this question. Do you touch up your bronzer? You can. This is not a bronzer, but this is a press powder that I will carry in my purse, or my bag if I'm going somewhere. And especially in the hot sunny days in Texas, if I feel like I'm feeling a little oily, or it's not really oily, it's that sweat, I'll pull out my pressed powder, or you can pull out a bronzer, doesn't matter, either or, and you can touch up your skin. So we have like a few minutes left. We want to make sure we've addressed everybody's questions. If you have any other questions, put them in the chat real quick. What I do have a translucent powder that I use as well, even though I am darker skin. And like Chibi was saying, we want to be careful, making sure we're not looking ashy, or that's not the look you're going for. So I just, with a more bronzer skin, what I recommend with the translucent powder is make sure you blend it very well. That is
Mhm.
the key, is
Mhm.
blending. So I use a big Oliver brush and I just blend it in there. And translucent powder is great for the summer. Even if you're not going to wear makeup, wear translucent powder. It will absorb a lot of the oil and the sweat throughout the day. So, you know, even though you've washed your face and moisturized and all that stuff, doesn't matter if you're oily, dry, normal, or somewhere in between. Translucent powder is really great for
Mm.
that. There's a lot of great uses with translucent powder. We're not going to get all into that tonight,
Yeah,
but
look for a blot powder is an oily person's best friend.
yes,
Um, a, a blot powder has in basically oil absorbing ingredients. So whether you're shiny because you've been outside and it's 103 degrees, or just because you're oily, blot powder is something that you want to keep in your bag. It usually has very minimal color, so it's not going to start to add on more makeup. I feel like if you use something like a bronzer or even like your powder foundation that you use to like set your powder that you use to set, sometimes I can start to add makeup throughout the day, and that's what can create like a cakey look at the end of the day. So a blot powder is what you're looking for the most part. What I did to finish off was I used a little bit of a highlighter. Ding!
mhm.
Just kind of adding right on where I want it. You can see how it reflects the light, because I don't want to add shine everywhere, but I do want to have a little glow happening here, right on the eyelids, basically around the edges of my face. If you are more on the dry side, a cream highlighter is butter. Butter. Get you a cream highlighter. Because I use a lot of powder to control the oil, a cream highlighter on top of all that powder is not friendly. But use that. And then I do like to use a setting spray. One thing to note on the setting spray is look at the ingredients in the setting spray. A lot of these setting sprays are made to quote unquote, seal your foundation and keep it all on in place, but they do have a high alcohol content in them. And that's what essentially just seals it. It's the old drag theater trick of setting your makeup with hairspray. Okay? Yeah, it ain't gonna move, but it's not great for your skin. So using it for like that special occasion every once in a while, fine. But for an everyday, you're really looking for something that's just gonna help that makeup meld, and seal into one and keep your skin looking hydrated. So I go back to the same hydrating mist that I used at the beginning, the MAC Fix Plus. And they have multiple types depending on your skin tone. If you're oilier, they have a matte one. If you're drier, they have a radiating one. So using that to just kind of seal it and then go back in with your fan. And yes, I will totally put that eye cream in the chat, and then your skin.
Yes. So yes, and I'm glad you said that about the finishing spray. And if y'all don't mind, can y'all give us like 5 more minutes? And we are aware that it is 7. But I do want to answer the questions that are in the chat. And then also, yes, the setting spray, make sure it's not like a hairspray, that old time hairspray from the 90s where your skin feels sticky. Just make sure your setting spray is not doing that. You do not want that on your face. You want to make sure your pores are breathing. So Chibi, they want you to put the eye cream. Okay, you put it in there.
Boom. Drop.
To answer the question for, let's see, who was it that asked about, is it too late to take care of the skin? Eva or Eva. I'm sorry if I said your name incorrectly. No, it's never too late to start recovering your skin. Start now. So I recommend first of all, determine what type of skin you have first. If it's oily, combination, dry. The best way to determine that is if you do not wash your face, does your skin feel tight after getting out of the shower? That'll determine if you're dry. If your skin feels oily and it feels kind of greasy, then that means you're more on the oily. And if you have dry patches or oily spots, then you're more combination. So that's the best way to answer that, to determine your skin type. Then get on the products. Start off small. Like, don't try to go overboard, because especially if your skin's not used to a routine, you're going to go through a purging process. So you may see some breakouts. That's okay. You don't want to see you don't want to have it burning, itching, or like you have like massive rash. That's not good. That means you're allergic to the product. But a few breakouts here and there is normal, especially for anyone just starting on skincare. The other thing is just get into a routine. Just like when you brush your teeth, just remember to wash your face. So just kind of get yourself into a routine. As you get into a routine, it becomes natural. I don't even think about washing my face. It just happens. I just know I'm going to the bathroom, I wash my face. And it only takes you like a minute or two. Okay. Then Eddie asked about the crackling or creeping. Okay. I recommend a primer. I'm not sure if you're currently using a primer, Eddie. It tends anytime foundation, I'm finding clients of mine that are having the cracking in the foundation is because they're not using the right primer prior to putting the foundation on. So if you are using a primer, maybe start looking for a different one because the primer you're using right now is not giving you what you're looking for.
And I want to add to that too. Sometimes it's too much product. You know, if you're putting too much product on, it will settle into the lines, right? So again, with that start light and build, add a little bit of product just to get the kind of coverage that you need without layering it on too heavy. Because even if you like set it with a ton of powder, if you've got too much product underneath, that moisture is going to stay there and it's going to start to slip and slide. It's going to settle into the cracks, the fine lines, the texture. Texture is the politically correct term for it.
Yes. I want to answer about the mask. Yes. So what I have found is that if your makeup is transferring to your mask, is that you haven't allowed it time to set and dry. So my recommendation is to go ahead and finish whatever you're doing for your makeup. Go ahead and put on your setting spray and your translucent powders or whatever, everything you are done with your makeup. And then allow 5 to 10 minutes for it to actually dry on your skin before applying a mask. And you will have a lot less transfer of your products to your mask. So that's a great question.
The other tip that I find useful for that is the fan. I don't know what it is about air pushing makeup against your skin, but it like seals it there. I don't have a hair dryer because I don't have hair, but if you have a hair dryer on the cool setting, that's another great way to just kind of like seal and set your makeup after your setting spray. Just blow your face a little bit. That helps too. Either way, most of the time you're going to get a little bit of transfer because if you think about it, makeup is topical. It's sitting on top of your skin. So if something is rubbing up against it consistently, it's going to it's gonna eventually start to wear away at it. But there are things you can do to minimize that and to kind of prolong it. Yes, with the fan. And then I saw there was a question about covering 5 o'clock shadow. Yes, really great question, but I don't know how we missed that. Earlier we talked about using orange for hyperpigmentation. The same thing can be done if you're trying to cover like a 5 o'clock shadow. If you've like recently shaved and like you don't want that to be coming through, go in with something orange, literally orange. Okay. Use that everywhere where you've got the shadow, set it with some powder, and then you can go over that with your foundation. And that orange is going to neutralize the kind of blue tint that a 5 o'clock shadow creates. So it's so much easier to cover and it doesn't peek through. And then lastly, just because we're on skin, for my facial haired friends, an eyebrow pencil is your best friend to fill in the gaps. It looks so natural and will fill in because you can just use it to fill in gaps as needed. And you've got a fuller looking facial hair moment happening. And who doesn't love that?
Awesome. I do want to answer one last question. And then if y'all have more questions for us, I believe they're going to post our information. So send us messages and we can definitely answer those for you. But I do have another question I want to answer real quick for Eva. It's 2 for Eva. As far as brushes go, you can buy your brushes anywhere. Just make sure the bristles are made with like a synthetic blend and that they are soft and are not abrasive to the skin. And some drugstores may sell them. Um, I know Mac sells them. Ulta, Mary Kay has amazing brushes as well. I mean, you can get brushes pretty much anywhere, but just make sure that the brush is gentle to the skin. That is my one recommendation for sure.
Mhm.
And then as far as fragrance
Oh, she froze.
care products, and make sure it says fragrance free. Especially if you have sensitive skin, you really don't want to be putting fragrance stuff on your skin. It will irritate your skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say on the brush question, Real Techniques is a fantastic brand that is very economical. You can find it at HEB, and they create great products, great little eggs, sponges, brushes. Real Techniques is great. And then I dropped in the chat a picture of all the products that I used. If you want to go download that so that you can see. These are the products I use. The majority of them are MAC because I worked for them for 10 years. So it's what I have and it's what I know. But you can definitely do, if that's outside of your price range, you can do some Google searching on good dupes for the kinds of products that I used. But yeah.
Yeah. And same way with Mary Kay. If Mary Kay's outside of your budget, you can go on Google and it'll tell you what's comparable to that particular product just based on the ingredients. There'll be some differences, but definitely want you guys to feel budget friendly. And I use Mary Kay products because I'm a rep and I get my products at like practically nothing. So that's the reason why.
That's fine. And don't forget to finish your look with a little chapstick, y'all. Okay.
Yes.
Please.
And we will. Oh, real quick. So we are done. And thank y'all for those that stayed with us. And I know we went a little bit over. The next session we're doing is next Tuesday. We're going to do eyes and lips. But Chibi's going to mention real quick about the next two makeup artists, Red and Jay.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing something before next Tuesday. So take it away.
Yeah, on Friday is the next session, and that's with Red and Jay, and they're going into advanced highlight and contouring. We talked a little bit about it in terms of creating shape on the skin to create a finished skin product, but they are going to deep dive into using light and shadow to reshape the face. Whether you're doing that because you want to, have that $30 facelift, or whether you're trying to reshape the face because you're playing with gender identity, gender expression, and things like that, you can absolutely tune into that one on Tuesday. I don't know anything about subreddits. I am so sorry. Sometimes the internet scares me. I sometimes am older than y'all give me credit for. And then, yes, like Liz said, next Tuesday we'll be back with all things eyes and lips. We're going to give you a few different eye looks and a few different lip looks. Same as today's session, Liz and I have very different eye shapes. So we can talk about what does work and what doesn't work for different eye shapes, as well as lip looks. And yes, thank you for the compliments. We're both looking good and feeling fine. Thank you for all the questions you've got in the chat. Our emails, and I'm gonna drop my Instagram. You can go find me there and hit me up if you've got questions there. The thing about Discord was the Pride Center. They have Discord and Zoom sessions. Lex, you want to jump on real quick and give them the information about the Discord? Because I don't know what that means.
Yes, please join our Discord. We'd love to see you. We'd especially love to see your new All About Skin looks on our Discord. So please send me an email at info@PrideCenterSA, or find me on any of those social medias at Pride Center SA, and send me a message and I'll send you the link to join our Discord. We'd love to see you.
I dropped a hashtag that I just right now decided. I think we talked about it in a meeting, but it wasn't confirmed. But hashtag express yourself SATX. If you do create any looks after these 4 sessions that we're having and you post them online, use that hashtag so that we can go find it, because we'd love to see what you guys come up with.
Yes, and have fun with makeup. Yes. Y'all, makeup is fun. So have fun with it, okay? Awesome. Anything else? Let's see. Lex, did you want to close us out?
Hashtag Pride Center SA as well as another hashtag you can use. I think we good. and tag the San Antonio Library, my SAPL. Tag us also if you want. I will go look at your stuff. Okay, I will. Instagram, I get. Discord and Reddit, I do not.
All right, take us away, Lex. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. We are so grateful that you joined us today. We cannot wait to see you again on Saturday, again next Tuesday, and the Saturday after that. Please, if you haven't done so already, sign up for those other sessions, and please connect with Chibi and with Liz and with SAPL and with the Pride Center after this session.
Ding!
Any closing remarks from our public library folks, or are we ready to send it home?
Just that we hope that everybody got some awesome techniques and tips, and I'm so glad that I was able to make it. So I'm sure a lot of everybody else is too. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.